Hey there guys, how you all doing? I'm Paul the Tech Giant and welcome back to the channel, where today we're going to be unboxing, setting up and testing out this Eskute Netuno Plus e-mountain bike. Right, so let's not mess about then, and we're going to get straight into unpacking this. So we've got a few straps on the box, a little bit beaten up. Don't know what the delivery guys have been doing. Looks like they've been kicking the crap out of it. But anyway, what we're going to do is cut these off and get it open. Now, as always, what I'm going to do is put an affiliate link for this bike in the description. Oh, looks like customs have had a go on it because that's not stapled down. So yeah, if you like what you see and think, yeah, I want to pick up one of these, I'll put an affiliate link in the description, and I'd really appreciate it if you would use that. Puts a few quid back in my pocket. And there we go, get first look at the bike there in the box. And if I get any discount codes, which I quite often do, I will also put those in the description. And yeah, save yourself a few quid and use my link and put a few quid back in my pocket as your way of saying thanks. So let's lift this bike, there we go, out of the box. Just like that. So now the bike is out of the box. As you can see, it is very well packaged. We got loads of this foam cable tied to all the frame and whatnot. So we've got to get busy with the scissors and get this lot off. Now the wrapping is off the bike, let's take a look at the accessories box. Okie dokie. So it's like we've got a kickstand there, which you can fit if you want, or not bother. Something quite weighty in here. So that is our display there. So yeah, different. We've got the cables there, which we'll attach up in just a bit. Then we've got our LED display installation guide there. We also have a rear light. Nice little touch there that you get that included. We also have pedals. Again, nice that they are included. Then nice branded up pouch there with a load of tools. This is great. All the different size spanners there, screwdriver bits and whatnot. So yeah, that's nice that, you know, you've not got to go out and buy any extras there. And final two things in the box is our charging brick there. So that's going to go into your bike. Then we've got our cable there with the UK 3-pin plug, because I'm in the UK. Simply pop that in there, that into the wall, that into the bike, and charge away. Okie dokie, let's start assembling the bike now then. And one downside that I have noticed is there's no actual paper instructions to put the thing together. Now we do have those instructions for the display that will go onto here, but yeah, for the actual bike, nothing at all. So good job that you're watching this video, because I will be doing it myself, so at least you can go off this on how to do it. Probably ain't going to be in the right order, but anyway, what we're going to do first is remove this bolt here and then attach the wheel. So let's just undo these bolts up top, and that should slip out like so. So next we're going to prepare the wheel, and we have this quick release which was supplied, and if we take off the end, one of these springs, what we're going to do is put that through the hole just there. Quick release going on the same side as the brake disc. Slip the spring back over the end and then tighten up the bolt, but not too much, just enough so it grabs on. Then we're going to lift up the forks, and if you come around the other side, you will see that I will just slip those over, making sure the brake disc slips there between the pads, and get it lined up. There we go. Now I'm going to simply just screw it up, not too tight, allowing enough that we can adjust up that quick release. And that's it. Next we're going to install the display, and lucky enough we do have instructions for this, but it looks pretty straightforward anyway. So what we do is grab one of the supplied Allen keys there, remove the bolt. Removing that bolt, we will take this off, push. Now we get our headset just like that, and hopefully it's already loosened off. No, it's not, so just gonna have to give that a quick adjust. Gonna push that into place. There we go. A little bit stiff getting that on. Now we do have this rubber grommet in the top there, and if you find that it's pushed through, you can always poke it up from underneath. Gonna reinsert that long bolt and then just tighten it up. So I've done the bolt up so far, but not tightened it up. As you can see, we've still got movement there. So what we're going to do is make sure the wheel is straight, get that lined with the wheel, and then give it a final tighten up, and there we go. And then finally, we're going to pop that little rubber grommet back in. So now we've got these two bolts, one that side and one this side. Again, just going to pinch those up now. There we go, that's the display fitted. Next, we're going to fit the handlebars. And for this, we need to release these 4 bolts. So again, using the same Allen key as we've just used on the headset, just take all of these 4 out. Then we're going to put our handlebars into a rough position of where we want them. Get that metal bracket, put that back over, and start replacing the screws. Now what I've done, again, I've not over tightened them, so we have got movement. So what I would say is get everything all lined up to how you want it, where you want those brakes to sit. Some people might want them more forward, some people more upright. So I'll get it to a nice position. And yeah, when you've got it just where you want it, then finally tighten them up to lock it into place. Next up on the assembly list is to connect up the cables. So nice and simple, as you can see, color coordinated. We've got one green and one blue, and then we've got the other green and blue ones just there. Simply line them up and push them together. There's the blue one, and the green one has got a little notch in there. That's it. Next up is the pedals. So nice that these are included. I say this in every video. Not every bike actually comes with them. Shocking as that is. And we do have a left and a right pedal. Nice and easy to see on here. Some bikes it's a bit hard to see where it actually is marked. But yes, we can see that R there clearly and the L. So the R is going to go on the right hand side of the bike as if you were sitting on it. So this side. So I'm just going to move that round. I'm going to start it off with my fingers, and then I'm going to finish off with one of the supplied tools. And then we just move around and do the left hand pedal. Next up is the kickstand. Me personally probably wouldn't have this fitted, but if you do want to fit it, we have the bolts there already in the kickstand itself. So it's remove those first. And then if you come in closer, you will see that down here, got a little mounting bracket for it just there. And you can see the 2 holes. And what we need to do is line that up. We're going to put a bolt through the back and just screw that up. And then simply give them a tweak with the supplied Allen key. Now, whenever you want to use it, all you simply do is kick that down and the bike will stand up on its own. Final thing to do now is to fit the bike's lights. And the great thing is, the front light is actually powered off the bike's battery. Don't know why the rear one isn't. That's the same with a lot of bikes that I've been sent in the past. But yeah, nice that it is powered like that. You know that you're never going to run out of light as long as you've got power in that battery. So I've just removed a bolt that was around the back there. Need to slip that over and then replace the bolt, and then finish it off with the Allen key, which seems to be the same one for pretty much everything on this bike. And there we go. On to the final bit then, and that is the rear light. And what we're going to do is fit it to the seat post. So just going to move that quick release there, move the seat up to a more comfortable position, and we're going to use this tool. So we've got a handle, this part where we've got a Phillips and flathead bit. You can use either or end. I'm going to be using the Phillips. Undo that part. So we then just put that around the seat post, reinsert the screw, pull it at the desired height, screw it back up, and then adjust the back one by undoing the back screw, and that's us all done. Right, now that we got the bike set up, it's looking really nice. But we do have these keys attached to the front, which I'm going to cut off the little cable tie. As you can see, we've got 2 keys there. I can slot the key into here. Just turn that. What we can do, we can release that battery, which is really handy. So yeah, we've got a little charging port on there. We can remove that battery anytime. go and charge it up, maybe in an office or at home without having to lug the bike maybe upstairs or things like that. I think that's great. Or if you're just security conscious, you know, because these batteries are generally quite expensive to replace. So yeah, you could whip that out to stop any little light fingered buggers having it away. Let's put it back in, just slot it in bottom first, then push down on the top. There we go, locks into place. Now let's take a look at the display. And I've got to say, I love the way it's positioned on this bike. Often you get them set off to the side and that, but you know, being right in the middle, I think that's great. Now we've got this screen protector on there. That actually does say about the bike size, 27.5 inch, if you are wondering. So anyway, let's do the screen protector peel. Oh, nice and shiny. And we've got our controls set off to the left. So I'm going to press once on that power button. There we go. Not got to hold it down, just one single press. And nice colour display, I like that. So there we go, we've got the indication of our battery level just there. Again, with colour. Our mileage and our speed. Now, with these buttons just here, you can press up and that will adjust the level of assistance. So you've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 levels there, and all the way down to 1. And then if you go back again, that will turn it off. So it's just you pedaling with no assistance from the motor. Now this bike has a great feature. Other bikes have it. It's not heavily sort of advertised. Quite often it's like a hidden feature as such, but I know about it, and sure enough, this bike has it. Now, if we press down and hold on the down button, the bike starts walking itself. As soon as you let go, it stops. But that's very handy if you're maybe going up a steep hill or something like that. Maybe you have your kids sat on the bike and you don't want to like push. There we go. It will just walk itself. Really handy. Now, as I said earlier, we have that front light that is powered by the battery. Now, to turn that on, all we need to do is press the power button just once. One single press like that, as we can see. That's powered on. We see that just there. And then to turn it off, just a single press again. Now to shut off the display and the motor, pretty simple. All we need to do is hold down now on the power button for a long press. And there we go. Now this bike does come with a supporting app. What I'm going to do is just power the bike back on. And I've already downloaded the Eskute app, which is available on Android, and I believe it will be on iOS as well. So I'm just going to fire up the app, and what I'm going to do is to add a bike, just press on the plus sign and then add device. And there we go, it's found the bike because it's powered on. We can see it just there. I'm going to click on the device that's been found. There we go, it says success. It says online, and there we go. So it is now connected up to the bike. Now this app has some great features. So if you come in close, as you can see, I've just been moving the bike around a little bit, and it actually says on there the total mileage. So yeah, it's actually recorded that on the app itself. Now if we move down, we've got features there. So we've got one there for the front light. So maybe you could mount your phone to the handlebar, and instead of pressing on the buttons, you could just press on that. There we go, look at that, I've just turned that light on with my phone. That's really cool. Then down from that, we have these features for auto unlock and auto lock, and we can set a password as well for that. Moving down again, we've got our smart mode. So we've got 0, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, as we see on the display there. If I click on any of the modes, we can jump straight to it. Now you might say, well, you can do that on there, but there you have to scroll through the different modes. So to go from 1 to 5, you've physically got to go through those 5 steps. But from here, you could see, go from 0 directly to 5. So I think that's a great feature once again. Then down below that, looks like we've got diagnosis for the bike. So if there's any issues, and we've also got record. So it'll record, you know, our time cycling, you know, where we've cycled, all that sort of stuff. That's great. If we go back and we go to the settings, then we can adjust things like the screen brightness there, the sleep timer, also the units. So at the moment it's in kilometers per hour on the display, but if I just press on miles per hour, like so, there we go, it's changed. Really, really simple. And then for the auto unlock distance there, so when you walk away, how far before it kicks in. So we've got near, moderate, far and touch. So yeah, some really impressive features. Well, let's now take a look at the bike in closer detail and talk about some of the specs. So starting off at the front of the bike, if we go in closer, we can see we do in fact have mechanical disc brakes, which is a nice addition, and obviously we've got exactly the same setup there at the back. Moving up from the brakes, and we have the front suspension, which gives us 100mm of travel, and what is a nice addition, if we just go around here, we do have this very nice adjustable knob on there with a very satisfying click. Look at that, that is lovely. And that will adjust the sag of the bike so we can make it softer or harder, or if we want, we can even turn it all the way around and lock out that suspension. Moving on from the front suspension, and of course we have that LED light that is powered off that battery. And yeah, it's fairly bright, not the brightest in the world, but enough to get you by. Moving up to the handlebars now, and we have the brakes there, either side obviously, for those mechanical front and rear disc brakes. Then we have our bell clicker. I do like these clickers, so you just simply pull it back like that, better than your sort of flicker ones. So yeah, that's nice. Then just back from that, we have of course the controls there to adjust the power and turn the bike on and off. Then our display, which I do really, really love. Moving across to the right hand side, and we have our Shimano gear selector. And we've got a cover on there. Just going to peel that off. Ooh, very satisfying. And yeah, you can see the Shimano logo just there. And it indicates that we have 7 gears to choose from in total. Now, something that I've just noticed is that at the bottom of the display, we do have a USB Type-C port, and I've got a USB Type-C cable. So we could simply plug that in and charge our phone. So yeah, another handy feature. Moving down now to the battery, which is either a Samsung or LG battery. So yeah, decent quality battery there, and it's 36 volts, 14.5 amp hours, and we're looking to get a range out of that maximum around 60 miles. But obviously that is all going to be dependent on rider weight, conditions, so on and so forth. Now, whilst we're on the subject of conditions, the maximum payload for this bike is 125 kilos. And when it comes to rider height, this bike can take a rider that is 160 centimeters up to 200 centimeters. And as for the weight of the bike, that comes in at 25 kilos. Moving along a bit now then, and we have that quick release for the adjustable saddle, our rear light. And then moving on down, we come to our Bafang motor. Now this is a 250 watt motor, gives us 45 newton meters of torque, and will give us a maximum limited speed of 15.5 miles per hour. Now, one great handy feature of this bike is the new torque sensor. So this should give us a very smooth ride, and I'll be testing that out in just a bit. Spinning the bike round, and we can see the Shimano gears just there at the back, and our tawny derailleur. Okie dokie, we are out now for the test ride. And first off, what we're going to do is simply just turn on the bike. So pressing on that power button there just once. There we go, and it's firing up into life. Now, it is obviously daytime, so that screen may not be bright enough. But what we can do, I'm going to fire up the Eskute app, and hopefully that should connect up any second, which it has. And as we can see, we've got the battery there sitting at 100%. What we're going to do is go onto the settings, and we can adjust the screen brightness. Now we can do that for the day and for the night. So if we look at that, if I turn that up, we're on level 4, and just swipe that up, there we go, it's got brighter. Down to 1 if we want it real dim, but now I'm going to whack it up all the way. So what I'm going to do, I'm going to start off on the easiest assistance level, which is level 1. So there we go. And it's going to be interesting because, like I said earlier, this bike has a torque sensor on it. So it should adjust the power that is delivered to the motor by how much I'm forcing down on those pedals. So let's climb on and see how we get on. Right, we are off, dodging the brambles there, and I'll tell you what, that is a lovely smooth pull away, that is, with absolute ease. And I've just realised I'm actually in the highest gear level there, so that should have been really hard to pull away on like a traditional bike, ducks under some branches. But yeah, with that torque sensing motor, it can sense that I'm putting in, you know, a lot of force on the pedal, and then it gives me that extra assistance. Let's just run through some of the gears, just drop it down a little bit here. There we go, slow it up. So yeah, in the lowest gear, now we're just going to pull off. Level 1. Again, just feel that motor just gliding in there. And it is just like an extension of what you're trying to do with that motor. It just gives you a bit more oomph, like you've got bigger legs than what you've actually got. So just flick through the gears, nice and smooth. And I'm always surprised at this gear setup, at how nice it actually is, because, you know, it's not a high-end bike, but yeah, you wouldn't think it with the gear setup on this. Yeah, not like clunky or anything like that. And I'll tell you what, nice smooth ride. Now I've got the suspension sort of on a medium setting at the moment, but what I can do, I'm going to wipe the lens there because it is raining. I've picked the complete wrong day to do this. Now I can lock out that suspension, so now it is absolutely solid. Just spin the bike round, and what I'm going to do is actually up the level now to number 2. I'm going to start off again in the highest gear there and see how we get on. And again, we're just getting even more power there as I pull off. It's just so easy. It's absolutely great. I love it. If you've never had an e-bike before, honest to God, you've got to get one. You'll never go back to a traditional bike again. It's just absolutely effortless. Let's change up the assistance again, slowing it down to what are we doing, 8 kilometers an hour, 7. So putting up to assistance level 3 there. Again, just getting on the power there by giving it a bit more force on the pedals, and we're just flying off. Look at absolute ease. Now we are getting a bit of a rattle there, I've noticed. I think that's just the chain slapping around a bit there at the back. But as well, one thing I have noticed, and I've noticed this on other bikes with similar gears, is just this plastic on there. I don't know if you can hear that very well on the camera. It's just a little bit loose. Not the biggest deal in the world, but something worth pointing out. So what we're going to do now is put it up to assistance level 4, and I'm going to put the suspension down to the softest setting. So now we can give it a good test to see how comfortable the ride is. So setting off once again, highest gear. Oh, even easier now. So just got to be careful around these pedestrians here. Again, excuse the rain. And yeah, it's nice and bouncy on those front forks there with that suspension on the softest setting. It's a little bit rough down here, so let's see what it's like. Again, we're getting that bit of rattle going on, but as far as the ride goes, yeah, that's not too shabby at all. Now of course we've not got any suspension on the rear, but we've got a nice spongy saddle going on, so that does help to soak up the bumps and not transfer through your bum. Now staying in assistance level 4, what I'm going to do is set off once again in the highest gear and see how quick we can get up to top speed. So let's push off, and here we go. That torque sensor is kicking in the motor there, and we are flying. I think the speedo is struggling to keep up, but we are already at top speed. Now obviously the motor will stop assisting at 15.5 miles an hour, but you can push through that. So yeah, going even faster now, dodging under the bushes, up to 20 miles an hour. And let's try out these brakes. So it is wet out, Bit of a screech there, but they are brand new, so they do need a bit of bedding in. Right, so what I've now done, I've fired up the Eskute app on my Galaxy S23 Ultra, and we're going to see what sort of readings that we get from the app whilst we're cycling along. As you can see, put a few kilometers on it now. Battery's down to 91% because I've been pushing it a bit hard with that motor. Obviously, you know, the higher the assistance level, the more that battery is going to go down. But at the moment, we as we can see, are in 0 on the assistance there. And what I'm going to do, I'm going to press on number 5, which you can see it's come up on the screen there. So we could say go to 4, and that will relate to on the screen there as well. But yeah, we're going to put it on 5, which is 100%. And just to show you guys, so assistance level 1 is 40%, 2 is 55%, 3 is 70, 4 is 85, and 5 is 100%. So we're going to ride in that assistance level 5 in the highest gear. And what I'm going to do is start recording our trip. So I'm going to click on start recording your trip on go. And there we go, it says we're in gear 5, gives us our coordinates of where we are to on the maps there, and we're going to set off and see how we get on, and let's go. So that torque sensing motor there giving me that maximum power from the motor. Oh, and what I forgot to do, I've actually forgot to press on the play button there on my phone. I don't know how well you're going to be able to see that on the camera. Yeah, we're getting a time there of how long we've been cycling for. Not sure that the speed is matching up there, mind, because we're getting a speed reading on there of, like, at the moment 15. It's only saying 66.1. So I've just come to a stop, and for some reason it is still reading that we are still moving. So I don't know if this is based off like GPS or something like that, as opposed to the bike actually giving a reading to the app itself. So setting off once again, and of course the beauty of having the app, we can control things from there as well. So if I want to turn on the light now, I can just press on that front light, and that has now come on, which is again a nice way of doing it as well. I mean, you can of course press on the buttons there, but if you preferred the big screen controls, you can have that option. Okie dokie, that's the test riding over. So what are my final thoughts on this bike? Well, I love the design. This is the sort of bike that I'd go for if I was buying one myself. I prefer the sort of mountain bike look as opposed to your city type bikes, and it has got some great features. So starting off, I just love the way that the screen is all integrated in like that. I think it looks really smart. The colours on there as well, you know, you don't like a colour display. I like the fact that we've got that built-in light there on the front as well. Simple one press there, as he says. Which one is it? There we go, got it on there. Yeah, nice, not got to worry about batteries for that. Also love this adjustable suspension. Nice, reassuring click on that. Feels, you know, decent quality, to be fair. Some are a bit cheap and nasty, but that feels good. The motor, nice and powerful, you know, what you'd want from a bike like this. And then we got the torque sensor, which is a massive upgrade over the previous model's speed sensor. It just feels more natural when it comes in with that motor. And yeah, it's just a joy to ride. I also like the fact that the battery is built into the frame itself. Just gives it a more classy look and looks more like a normal sort of mountain bike, as opposed to some that you get with a battery that's just bolted on. Looks a bit messy, if you ask me, with ones that are like that. So yeah, I think it's a real nice design. A solid bike. Only negatives really, I'd say this is nitpicking. Like I said, we've got that little rattle going on that thing there. Not the biggest steel in the world. And the frame itself, it can be a bit of a fingerprint magnet. Again, I know that's nitpicking, but you know, if you're giving it to someone as a present, might be worth making note of that. You need a microfiber cloth to give it a bit of a wipe down beforehand. And one final thing, if I could change anything on the bike, I'd probably have these in black as opposed to silver, just to match up with the tyres and the rest of the frame. But yeah, like I say, that's real nitpicking. A little bit of a rattle from the chain as well. But again, overall, yeah, I think it's a solid bike. Now, if you do want to pick up one of these for yourselves, once again, I'll put an affiliate link in the description, and I'd appreciate if you use that, because it will put a few quid back in my pocket. It shouldn't cost you a penny extra, and hopefully I'll have some discount codes for you guys as well, so you can save yourselves a few quid. So anyway, if you have enjoyed today's video, do us a favour and give me a thumbs up. If you'd like to see more of the same in the future, then make sure you hit that subscribe button and hopefully catch you guys in the next one. Bye for now.